because that was the guy who met the Jonas
Yeah.
brothers.
Right, Ron. All right, ready? All right, well, I'm Noah. Obviously, I'm not doing my normal sports thing, but instead I'm interviewing Wisp Boys Lacrosse captains, Kyle Lehman, Andrew Slackman, Nicholas D'Onofrio, and Gavin Myers. It is nice to have you guys.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for having us.
Appreciate it,
All right, well, first things first, I want to say, you guys missed your freshman season. Did that impact you guys overall in talent, or did that just make you guys better and more motivated for other seasons?
Yeah, I mean, overall, I feel like leading up to high school years, we've been looking forward for these 4 years of high school, and when we didn't have our freshman year, we were kind of bummed out. So I feel like that kind of just gave us, an urge to just come ready for our sophomore year. And I feel like we started our sophomore year off really strong. We made the states, had a good run, and that kind of set the tone for the following 2 years of high school.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it could have affected us, but it kind of gave us motivation, made us more excited for the next 3 years, missing that first year.
Tonight's your senior night. Your seniors, this is your last high school year. Does this make this year more special than other years?
I think it definitely does. I mean, this group, we've been together for 12 years now. We've been playing since first grade together. And actually, the starting six is the same six that we had when we were in first grade intramural. So, I mean, definitely means a lot to finish this year out strong. And hopefully we can end on a good note.
Well, so yeah, speaking of the fact that you guys have been together since first grade, is that the chemistry, it's been there since, years now.
Yeah.
That special bond between you guys, is that better than other teams might have?
Definitely. I would say the chemistry is playing a big factor into our success this year because, looking at our season going into the season, we didn't think we were going to be as good as the previous years, just talent-wise. But I think our chemistry is definitely doing it for us this year.
I mean, we need chemistry because we're so low on numbers, so
yeah.
Without the chemistry, we're not really a team like that.
You have a lot of new players this year. You have a new goalkeeper. The Hustlers are coming up. You have a new kid, Sebastian Davis. You had some new LSMs, Danny Hussa, Bruno. Have these new players impacted the game a lot better than maybe past players have?
Yeah, I feel like definitely bringing in new players is definitely different. It can be hard, but I think us four as captains did a good job of rallying the team together this year, making sure we're on the same page, which definitely set the tone off in the beginning of the season. Like we said before, this team has been close for a long time now, so I feel like the new kids who just came onto the team kind of just adjusted really quickly, and I think we all kind of just complement each other around on the field.
Anybody else?
I feel like they all adapted and adjusted well, and I feel like they all learned the play as well too. And yeah.
Obviously, you have other sports instead of lacrosse. You've played some other sports. You've done other sports, and so have you. In past years, you have also. Do other sports help keep your abilities high in athleticism?
Yeah, I would definitely say other sports help out, but it's also nice having an off season leading into lacrosse season, or just an off season either in the fall or winter to focus on lacrosse for the spring.
It was definitely beneficial playing sports before the lacrosse season. I was in shape. It kept my quickness up there. Basketball change of direction was good for the lacrosse season. So
yeah, we're all multi-sport athletes, and obviously other sports can translate to lacrosse. Like for example, football. When you get the handoff, kind of have to read and react. Same thing when you're on the lacrosse field. When I'm dodging and say I beat my man, if a guy's sliding, I have to read and react to see who's open on the field. So a lot of things that happen and going on in football translate directly to lacrosse. So us being multi-sport athletes and also a bunch of kids on our team are also more multi-sport athletes. Definitely just I guess you can can definitely up our game because we all know what it's like to be on a different sporting field, not just lacrosse. So when we're playing together, I think definitely.
I would say it's definitely good to have athletes and not just all lacrosse players.
Yeah.
It's beneficial.
Definitely.
In the last 2 seasons that you guys have had, you made playoffs, you made states, but last year you got bounced second round the Garnet Valley. The year before that, you made states, got bounced second round after that. If you have more fuel to the fire this year, hopefully you make a bigger run.
I feel like this year a lot of the other teams aren't as strong, so I feel like if we really get all our stuff together, I feel like we could make a deep state run. Obviously, once it gets Final Four teams and stuff, that's obviously going to get harder, but I feel like we could make a good run this year.
It depends on seeding because we definitely got super unlucky with the Garnet Valley seeding. So if we can get lucky, play some teams we can definitely compete with, and I think we can make a decent run in states.
Yeah,
districts.
yeah. This year, I think we were not expecting to be at the spot we are right now. We came into the season maybe not sure if we were going to last long in the districts. We were hoping to maybe get a bye for districts, but it turns out that, like I said before, the chemistry that we built together just kind of, I guess, set us off pretty strong. And also, we kind of realized that and maybe we're not as maybe we're better than we thought we were because we just had a big win against Conestoga. We looked at that game at the beginning of the season as like that may be our only loss. So we came into that game and we actually showed up and played really well. So that obviously gave us high hopes for the rest of the season. I think we'll be able to make a good run in districts and hopefully make it states because that's our goal at the moment.
Right now you're 14-1. I mean, you just said you beat Conestoga, one of a top team for the last few years, but you unfortunately did lose to Saturton 8-6. How did that loss, impact, the players? How did that impact mentality, practices?
I think honestly we were all pretty disappointed, and we went into that Saturton game not totally locked in. So it was an understandable loss, but I think the loss was kind of good for us. It's good for us to experience a loss before playoffs rather than going in as the undefeated team and seeing an upset in the second round. That just wouldn't be a good look. I think the loss was good.
Yeah, traditionally Wissahickon's an underdog team, and I feel like we definitely need that loss like what Gavin said. It definitely humbled us, and it made us realize that we aren't all we can't go undefeated this year, and we still have a lot to prove. And over the past couple of years, we've been the underdog team, beating LaSalle and states, and making a lot of good upsets over the years. So we just need to have that underdog mentality going into districts, and we have to realize that no game's given to us. Like what happened at Saturton, we came in thinking it was just gonna be an easy win, and then obviously we got our butts handed to us. So we just have to stay locked in and have the underdog mentality going in the next couple of games.
When I go through the statistics, I see that your first quarter is the best. You score 49 and you let up only 14 in total. So you're outscoring teams 49-14 in the first quarter, but you're 21-21 in the fourth quarter. Allowed 21, scored 21. Is there, is it you guys have had a big gap, you kind of just ease off in the end, or is there more, regression in the fourth quarter?
I think there's reason for that because when we play crappy teams like William Tennant, we're putting in people who don't usually play, so you can understand why people are scoring more in the fourth quarter.
And also in the closer games, that can show our fatigue because we really don't have a lot of guys subbing in throughout the game. So by the fourth quarter, we're pretty tired.
You lost a valuable player in Dominic Kemper, your face-off guy, one of the best in the SOL. You lost him. How have you been adjusting so far to losing him with new face-off guys practice through that?
We've only had 2 games really without him, or 1 game really without him, and we haven't really been able to see the full effects of not having him yet. But I feel like in our game the other day against Springfield, I feel like we did a pretty good job just winning 50-50 ground balls in the middle, and that's kind of our goal without Dom now, just trying to win the ball in the middle.
Yeah, we got to work harder on the 50-50 off the face-off. The ground balls are going to be key in the playoffs, but hopefully if we make it long enough in the season, Dom will be back.
Now, to the people who don't really understand what ground ball is, how important is a ground ball in lacrosse?
Yeah, ground balls kind of determine the outcome of a game. It's kind of like a tip-off for basketball. Say there's a couple seconds left, it's tied up, tip-off can kind of determine the outcome of the game. So, obviously not having Dom is going to be a tough one because after every goal it comes down to a face-off. And since now we don't have Dom, we're going to have to be relying on our wing guys coming in to try to get the ball, which obviously, we're going to have to adjust to because it's going to be the first, today's going to be the first, really good matchup where we're going to have to test that. And I don't know, hopefully we just come ready to play. And we have Will Hussa and the other Hussa, Danny Hussa, taking the face off. And their job is basically to just create a scrum, create a ground ball. And obviously it's hard because this kid he's going up against, the face-off guy for CB West is going to Richmond. He's a Division I player, so I don't know. We're going to figure it out today and see how it is without Dom there.
Now, both the Hussas play hockey, so they're very physical. Is that a positive or a negative to the game?
I would say it's a positive, definitely. We've had some penalty issues throughout the year, but our man-down defense is pretty good, I would say. So it hasn't hurt us that much, and I would say definitely their hockey skills have illustrated on the ground balls. Danny can pick up a lot of ground balls easily because you can just see he's good with his stick when it's on the ground from hockey.
I'd say it's not even the physicality from hockey. It's more the stick work.
Yeah, definitely having the 2 Hussas brothers is a big impact. Last year we didn't have them playing at all on the varsity level, and we did struggle with ground balls. But I feel like when the 2 Hussas are out there going for a GB, I feel like most of the time they're coming out with it, which directly relates to hockey. So having them out on the field is definitely a +1 for our team.
Well, they both play defense, and your defense has been arguably be one of the best in the district this year. Have you guys preached, defense all the time, or is it more offensive sided?
Definitely at practice when we're preparing for the team or our opponent the next day, we'll do a lot of defensive scout. So we'll get our defense ready for the offense the next day. I would say more so than our offense ready for the opposing defense, just because the way our offense works, we can run the same plays against pretty much any team.
Now, you also earlier mentioned about your rotation. You guys don't have many people rotate in.
Yeah.
Is that like bad for you guys, or you guys kind of like that a little more?
I would say it's fine. I like it for the games that aren't like extremely hot, like the day games. We struggle with, like, I know me and Andrew, like, it's hard to stay on the field as middies playing both ways. But I mean, we have guys rotating in, like Matt Slovin. He just plays defensive midi, so that's big. Like having him come in on defense and letting one of us get a break every time is pretty helpful. So yeah, I like the rotation we have going.
I mean, it's dangerous because taking one person out of the rotation due to injury would ruin a lot of things.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we're about to see the effects on not having Dom. We're gonna have more guys on the field as we'd want to, and less people on the bench resting. So when Dom's not there, obviously there's gonna be a lot more, room for people to go on the field, which causes later in the game for us to be super tired. And traditionally, that's just how Wissahickon has been. We usually don't have a lot of numbers. So when we don't have a lot of numbers, it's kind of difficult for us to stay long in the game without being super tired.
Now, you two both mentioned about playing defense. Do you like defense more or offense?
That's difficult.
Yeah, I definitely like offense more. I'm usually Gavin's starting on the wing, so sometimes he's just automatically on defense. But I'm starting out, so I'm just playing more offense.
From what I have, you have 36 goals on the season, shooting over 50% with 50.7 on shooting. So every 1 out of 2 shots you're scoring. Is that like how do you get to that level of accuracy?
I'd say it's like shot selection. I don't think that I take a lot of dumb shots. A lot of my shots come from like 5 feet within the goal. I'm just right on the crease. So I'd say that's the reason it has such a high shooting percentage.
I would also say, because like the way our offenses work, we go through them three. Like we'll dodge. They're like essentially our point guard for basketball, if you were to look at it like that. So I think they create a lot of open shots for each other, which is why Andrew's shot percentage might be so high.
Yeah, as I'm also looking at this, you three are the top scorers with 48, 36, and 25. That's it's a huge part in the game today. But you also have a good amount of assists with 26, 22, and 12 assists. Is that like moving the ball around big when it comes to lacrosse?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like the other teams, when they scout our team, they kind of, look at it like who's going to be the guy who's going to want to shoot. And most of the time, they got to make sure I don't get a shot on goal. And when I know the other team's thinking that, I know that the slides are going to come quick and someone's going to be open. So it kind of, builds my game. I kind of learn a little bit more when I realize that the defense is sliding super early, which opens up shots for them. So I have a good amount of assists on there compared to goals. So that's kind of, how I adjust to the defense sliding really early.
Now you mentioned that when it comes to film, you three are normally the most looked at, but you have players like Gavin, Charlie Stellick, and Kyle Dahl who can still make impacts, outside of film, or not like kind of more like role players. How big are they when it comes to the game?
Dom Kemper. I mean, wait.
Charlie Stellick, yeah. Kyle Dahl, and Gavin Myers.
Kyle Dahl is definitely a key component to our team. I think he's definitely slept on. We call him the D1 finisher because when that kid's on the crease, like 5 yards away from the goal, if he gets the ball, he's put it in the back of the net, which is pretty cool. He's been doing that since he was really young. He's kind of a slept-on kid. Not a lot of kids on the other team think about Kyle Dahl as really much of a threat, but when he's open and he catches the ball, he knows how to put it in the back of the net.
Yeah, I would say that Charlie and Kyle have definitely done a really good job stepping up this year because they, years prior, haven't gotten a lot of varsity time, so I think they've done a good job getting into their roles.
Well, so commitments. You two are committed to colleges. You're D1, D3. What led to your commitments?
Well, I mean, like obviously over the hard years of hard work led to a commitment, but I mean, like just playing with a great group of kids can kind of develop your game. And as I play with them, I look good on film because I mean, like they're all doing the right thing. So it's not just because of a a one-man show, but it's because of who's around you on the field. And I think them and all my teammates over the summer and the kids I play with on club, those are the kids that got me to the spot where I am.
Nick, what about you? Let your career move.
Kind of similar to what he said, just being around a good group of guys really helps that. Playing on good teams in the summer too, playing in good tournaments, just like really putting yourself out there, getting noticed is also really important too. So that's kind of what led to it.
But what led to the colleges that you guys chose?
Well, my dad played Penn State lacrosse. I've been going to Penn State ever since I was young, and I kind of knew I wanted to go there before the recruiting years came up. So I always had my eye on Penn State, and when I got that call from Coach Tambroni, I was just super happy, and I just wanted to commit right away.
When I first visited the campus on my visit, I kind of just fell in love with it. Everything that the coaches have to offer and where the team is at right now too, and also going into future years, I know they're going to be a good team, and also just everything about the school is just really cool. And
Yeah, Nick and I are both going on to a team where they're top in the country. Like Nick, you guys are in the playoffs right now, right?
Second, I think.
You guys are second seed. Yeah, Penn State's fourth seed. So, I mean, Nick and I going on to a top team in the country. It's going to be pretty exciting to see what we can do in the next couple of years.
Now, you two are not committed, though. Are you looking at clubs, walk-ons, or, are you not looking at lacrosse in college?
Probably just looking at college. I'll think about doing club. My brother's on the club team at Penn State right now, so.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely going to join the club team at Penn State.
When I keep looking at this, I see Gavin is shooting 50.7 also. You're shooting 26, and I already said you're shooting 42.5%. Obviously, shots have been going in, some have been missing, but a lot of this shows that you're hitting more shots or hitting most of your shots. Accuracy, as he mentioned, what's been big about it?
I mean, we work on shooting a lot in practice. I would say that's one things we do work on a lot, and also I think that shows you how good Kyle Crump is too in our nets, because we have to practice against him every day. So I mean, he's saving harder shots, so in games the shots are just easier for us.
Yeah, he's a sophomore, right?
Yeah, sophomore.
Sophomore, first year varsity. Is he going to be the leader of Wissahickon for the next few years?
Definitely.
Yeah,
I think he's going to be the quarterback of the team next year for defense-wise. He's looking to go to college to play lacrosse as well. So I'm excited to see how he can play in the next couple of years.
When I look at you two, your best games have been against Perk Valley. You scored 6 and you scored 4 against Perk. Did Perk Valley kind of motivate you more to do better?
I mean, it motivated me to finish the season off well, I guess. I mean, it was a good game for both of us.
Did you have 6? I had 6.
I had 4. You had 6.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it gave me the confidence that we're a good team.
Yeah, definitely.
Perk Valley's a good team. They're good competition, and the fact that we scored so many points against them, I mean, gave me the confidence that we can make it pretty far in districts and states.
Yeah, putting up those numbers just kind of reassured us that hard work, I guess, paid off, because we put a lot of work into the off season together. So just putting up those numbers, just it's a good feeling. And obviously, those stats are good, but just because you have the stats doesn't mean you had a great game. There's a lot more that goes into lacrosse than just goals and assists. So, those goals could have been opened by anyone else making really good plays and finding me on the crease. So, goals and assists aren't the only thing to look at in lacrosse. It's kind of about how you play as a team. So,
what about the stuff that doesn't show up in the stat sheet, passes forced or forced turnovers, stuff like that?
Yeah, one thing that doesn't show on the stat sheet is just hustle plays, and we've had a bunch of other kids who've been making really good hustle plays. We talk about the 50-50 ground ball as the Hustle brothers are all over that. They've been doing a great job. Charlie Stalick made a lot of good defensive plays. The ball's about to roll out, he's been diving and keeping it in play. So those plays kind of, I guess you can say they go unnoticed, but the kids on the team definitely look at those plays as great plays, but those aren't on the stat sheet, so not a lot of people know about those plays.
We even talked about your clears, though. You guys are 75% on clears this season, 139 for 175. So you're obviously doing well when you get the ball and going down a transition. Has transition goals been huge for the season?
Just off the clear, I think we definitely want to improve that number, even though it might sound like a good number. We've been working on the clear a lot, but our clear can also change based off the team we're playing. But yeah, I think our transition goals, because why they're so good for our team is it gives Kyle one-on-one, like when normally he won't have a one-on-one on set offense because he might be getting locked or slid too early. So it gives Kyle a lot of space to make something happen and maybe find like Nick or Kyle Dahl on the crease in transition.
Speaking of not having one-on-one opportunities, how have you, who've drawn more slides, have been, kind of the focus point, help them stand out better?
Yeah, definitely. I kind of said it before. When they're sliding early, I just kind of have to, it grows a different part of my game, which I can definitely translate next year at Penn State. When the defense is sliding early, to keep my head up. Whereas in the years prior, it was that you had more kids like Jackson and Treary and Dean Wolf and Sam Baker who were also dodging. But this year, I guess most of the dodging is going through me, which kind of opens up the other guys and they can put the ball in the back of the net, which is good.
How have the past seniors helped you guys out with your game?
Yeah, Nick, that's you. That's your game, Nick.
They've obviously helped a lot. I don't know. They've been good mentors over the years, especially like sophomore year with like Jackson and Fritz, just like big voices on the team. And then last year, obviously Sam and Dean and all the defensive guys that graduated too. They were all a big help with trying to stay focused and just motivating. I think all four of us in general, just to be better players.
I think what's special about the seniors in the past couple of years is that they didn't know how good they were until that senior year. Like Scott Pfeiffer just walked on to the Maryland team as a goalkeeper, and Jackson and Treary decommitted from a D3 and went to D1. Unfortunately, they didn't have Dean Wolf, but he would have been a really good player. We all knew they had potential to be really good, and then that senior year, they kind of exploded and their stats went through the roof. And I think us as seniors, when we go into the senior year, we kind of look at those seniors who graduated, and we know they had a great year, and we kind of wanted to replicate that. Andrew's having an amazing year.
Thanks, man.
Of course, dude. And so I think just looking at these seniors who played really good their senior year, just we had to replicate that and make sure that we were also having a really good year.
I think they definitely showed us what we could do. Like they showed us the success we can have, especially the seniors from 2 years ago. Like showing us what we have to do to lead the team, how we have to play, and then the success we can obviously have in the playoffs.
Yeah, we didn't realize how good those seniors were until they went to college and started doing great things in college. Like right when they left, we noticed the impact of them leaving and how good they were. And looking back, it was so much fun playing with those guys, and they were all really, really good. So I'm thankful that they were part of our team when we were younger, which definitely influenced us to become the team we are
They
today.
definitely helped us out.
Yeah, definitely.
You mentioned Dean's injury, but I also knew you kind of suffered through something like an injury last year. So we never really got to see the healthy Wissahickon team last year.
Yeah, like this year, besides Don's injuries, we've been healthy the whole entire year. So if we can stay healthy going into district playoffs, I think we're gonna be able to put up a good fight and maybe bring it to the finals. But if we stay away from injuries, like a healthy Wissahickon team it's hard to beat. So unfortunately with Don leaving, that's a big part. But I think if we just keep everyone together and to take care of our bodies and play smart, I think we should be able to finish the year off really strong.
So you'd say availability is the best, ability of the team?
100%. Like they've said, we have a limited roster, so keeping everyone healthy is obviously the best.
I already mentioned their scoring games, but Nick, your best was against Conestoga, 3 goals, 2 assists on 75% shooting. Was there, obviously, as I said then, was there more motivation going into the Stoga game?
A little bit. Last year we lost by 2, which was, we went into that game last year not too confident, and obviously the loss hurts, but this year we went in the game really fired up because we knew they weren't as strong this year. And me personally, I went in the game fired up, and I had a slow start to the game, but then once shots started falling in the fourth, I don't know, it just kind of took off.
We've mentioned other great defensive players, but we haven't mentioned Matt Bauer. How big has he been as a leader for the defense?
Matty B's been great. He's had a great sophomore, junior season, and now senior season. And I think the most important role he's played for us is just teaching and coaching up these young poles that are coming in. Not even young poles, just any new pole, because our whole defense is new besides him. And we even had some seniors quit on us before the season that we thought were playing poles. So I think Matt's done a great job. And also Coach Conway getting our young poles ready for defensing games.
Yeah, going back to coaches, this is Coach Lehman's, Coach Conway's 3rd season as head coach?
Yeah.
How has he been as a head coach for you guys?
I think he's been great. Definitely gets a good scout on the other team for us, gets us locked in the practice before. And I think the whole vibe at practice is good. Like, the chemistry shows, but we also just have a great time at practice.
Yeah, he definitely takes practice really serious. He makes sure we're all paying attention, which not a lot of coaches do. So having him as a coach, making sure he's locked in for practice is just, I think, a key component that not a lot of coaches have.
All right, well, thank you guys for being here today. It was really nice talking to you guys.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. That's really it.
That.